It really comes down to a series of simple tasks: scattering seed, spreading straw, harvesting. But it's taken him more than 30 years to reach this simplicity. Mr. Fukuoka's neighbors also plant barley using modern techniques. After harvesting their barley by machine, they burn the barley straw in the fields. To them, the straw is a nuisance because it gets caught in the machinery when they plow the field for rice. Mr. Fukuoka considers his barley straw a resource. He harvests all of it. After the grain is threshed, the straw is spread over the field as a mulch to keep weeds down and to return fertility to the soil. He's found that it works best if the straw is scattered every which way, just as it would have fallen to the ground naturally. The decaying straw also makes a good germination bed for the rice. Mulching is a most valuable technique for gardeners everywhere. It insulates the soil against extremes of hot and cold, conserves water, reduces weed growth, and ultimately decays into humus. When it's time for the neighbors to plant rice, they grow rice seedlings in a starter bed, then transplant them to the main field. They keep their paddies flooded all season long to help keep weeds in check. But these steps are eliminated in Mr. Fukuoka's straw-mulched field, which you see in the foreground. Mr. Fukuoka also floods his rice fields, but only for a week or 10 days. This weakens the weeds and clover and allows the rice to sprout through. The idea is only to discourage the weeds, not eliminate them, since they are habitat for beneficial insects. If the clover were not set back right now, it would become strong enough to compete with the rice. You see the rice seedlings in the clover and straw? Once the water is drained, the clover recovers, but only after the rice has become strongly established. Every few years, Mr. Fukuoka spread some chicken manure to help decompose the straw. He used to let ducks loose in the fields. They ate weeds and left manure all over. But construction of the national highway made it impossible for the ducks to get across the road and back safely. He now uses manure from a neighbor's chicken ranch. A lot of people come to visit Mr. Fukuoka's farm. Lately, scientists and agricultural experts have been among them. But these specialists usually see only from the point of view of their own expertise, and few grasp the deeper meaning of Mr. Fukuoka's methods, his close-to-nature philosophy. It is now midsummer, and the neighbor's rice is growing in neat rows. Weeds have been eliminated by herbicides. In August, Mr. Fukuoka pulls a rice plant from his field and one from a neighbor's paddy. The roots of the rice plants grown in the herbicide-treated flooded paddy, shown on the right, are rotten and black by midsummer. The roots of the rice from Mr. Fukuoka's field, on the left, are still healthy and growing strongly. Mr. Fukuoka is probably the only farmer in Japan who doesn't grow rice in a flooded field all summer. Instead, he allows the roots of his plants to penetrate more than 3 feet into the ground. As they grow, they bring up minerals from the subsoil. When they decay, they enrich his land with nutrients and organic matter. To control leafhoppers and other troublesome insects, most Japanese farmers spray a strong pesticide 2 or 3 times during the growing season. This poison also kills beneficial insects, to say nothing of the danger for the farmer. Mr. Fukuoka doesn't use pesticides of any kind. Many insects, earthworms, and small soil animals live in harmony with each other in his fields.
Make your way carefully through these fields. Insects, spiders, frogs, and dragonflies are everywhere. Moles and earthworms live under the ground. This is a balanced rice field ecosystem. Insect and plant communities live in harmony. Often, a plant or insect disease invades this valley. My crops are completely unaffected.
Mr. Fukuoka knows that every insect, even those most gardeners consider pests, has an important role to play. He believes that nature can and will control diseases and insects if we grow healthy crops in a biologically diverse environment.
I talk about a do-nothing way of gardening. Some of you come here thinking life will be soft and easy. But you cannot sit back and expect nature to do the farming. I call that abandonment. People tamper with nature, thinking they can improve it. This causes negative side effects, which are more difficult to repair. Almost all the work in farming is created in this way. Work is important, but my farming is designed to eliminate unnecessary work.
In September, a typhoon lingered off the Japanese coast, causing wind and heavy rain for several days. Mr. Fukuoka went to the fields to see how his rice was doing.
The rice was just blossoming, and I was worried that the flowers would be blown off before they could be pollinated. I knew I couldn't do anything about it anyway, but I couldn't help examining the heads of grain. I shouldn't be worried, only pray and accept my fate. Human beings can never hope to understand nature, but my analytical mind still tries. I try to garden as closely as I can to nature. My techniques are still evolving. I try to achieve a pure state of mind, and yet at 65 years, I still have many imperfections.
Clover seed is broadcast in the fields about 3 weeks before the rice harvest. The clover seeds are so small that you only need a few handfuls for a quarter acre. The barley seed is also broadcast among the ripening rice plants about 3 weeks before the harvest. The barley seed can be seen among the straw and clover. The rice grown with chemical fertilizer in the typical paddy grows tall, but topples easily late in the season. Mr. Fukuoka's rice plants don't grow as tall as those grown with chemicals, so more energy is available for seed production. The neighbor's rice has about 125 grains in each head. Mr. Fukuoka's rice has 225 to 250 grains in each head. His yield is about 1,300 pounds per quarter acre, comparable to the yields of modern commercial agriculture. The rice harvest season is a joyous time. In celebration, the village shrine is carried through the streets. Most of the farmers in the area harvest their rice with modern machines. Mr. Fukuoka's harvest is done by hand. His students don't mind. They enjoy the silent harvest using traditional hand tools. At the time of the rice harvest, the barley is already sprouting beneath the rice. After the rice is harvested and threshed, the rice straw is scattered over the field, just as the barley straw was scattered 6 months before. And with that, the yearly cycle is complete.
My way of gardening is pleasant. I have time for the important things in life, like writing poetry, singing, and participating in village life. I have lived in this village nearly all my life. My wife and I raised 5 children here. We enjoy the company of our neighbors and the richness of our lives. I have made mistakes in the past, but they were not really mistakes. They were hints which helped me coexist with nature. A life of small-scale farming or gardening may seem behind the times, but such a life offers many opportunities for greater awareness. It doesn't matter how the harvest will come out. Just sow seeds and care tenderly for plants and soil. You'll have joy. The ultimate goal of farming is not the growing of crops, but the cultivation and perfection of human beings.